Hey everybody, DXUN here, and we'll be talking about 12x is basically out today, and I wanted to make an updated guide on how to level quickly. Again, quickly, not slowly, but quickly and efficiently. So the first thing you need is a general XP boost and a 10% guild XP boost. Those two are needed up until Shadow of Revan. You must have those two. Okay. If you don't, bad. Okay? So at all times, again, I'm going to say this probably several more times during this video, make sure, especially, well, the guild boost is pretty simple. As long as you're guilded, you have it. But make sure that you have that general XP boost all the time. If you don't, you're going to waste a ton of XP. And in certain cases, it's going to cost you a ton more time to actually recover from that. And I will actually mention some of the examples, especially one that I've definitely went through a few times. By the way, for those that don't know me, again, I'm Dux, and I've leveled so far 38 characters that are above 55, and at least out of those 18 are 60. So I've done a few characters. Definitely have all 16 ACs at 60, and I'm still, again, going to be leveling a few more tunes during this 12x. So again, make sure, let's go back to it, because again, I can't say that enough. Make sure you have your general XP boost, your 10% guild XP boost. And then the next thing for me is the crystal at level 10. Make sure if you don't have a crystal, and I'm talking about the top crystals that give you 41 to power is the one I would use. And again, make sure if you don't have one, go to the GTN. If you don't have any that are like priced the right way, you can go to the actual cartel market. They can sell them straight up like crystals that are sold there, or also you can chance it and buy cartel packs, and you might get some in there as well. But again, you don't know which one you're gonna get. If you pick the crystal itself, you're guaranteed to get the set that you need. It's just the color might not be what you want. Again, doesn't matter. You're leveling. It's quick. Just get a power crystal, a couple. Well, you just need one, by the way. Don't buy two, because once you buy one, what you can do is unlock it to legacy. Costs you a few cartel coins again, and then you can have unlimited amounts of actually. That will work especially for multiple characters. If you have one character, you automatically have unlimited for that character. So again, you only need one crystal. The only way, if you unlock Legacy White, is if you're going to do it on several characters and you don't have any other ones, then you might as well do that. Then it's going to alleviate the cost overall, because you won't need to buy another crystal every single time you level. Next thing is the Kurtop mount, which is 110% speed, and you have a lesser chance to get knocked down. And it's the mount that you get for refer a friend. So go to your SWTOR.com and try to get somebody to actually hit your link and actually go under the program. If you do that, it's going to give you the mount on the first one. All the other ones are all the pets. So, and then once you have that mount, every single one of the characters you create on any of the servers are going to get that mount. So it's really beneficial. Again, faster, and you don't get knocked down as much. So can't say enough good things about that. Again, we're talking about a speed run, so don't do any heroics, don't do any bonus side quests, even if it's part of the class quest or the main planet quest. Avoid bonus quests unless you basically you have to kill everything on the way there, and then it doesn't like slow you down, then sure, do it. But if it's gonna slow you down at all, like, just leave it there, because again, they give little to no XP compared to 12 times the XP with the class quests. One thing you can also do, a trick, is with HK51. If you actually did the HK51 quest line, once you've done it once, every other character, if you want, you can actually that you create, you can actually unlock HK at level 1. Yes, as soon as you actually leave the place, you can start with HK 51. So again, if you're struggling or you're not very good at MMOs or anything like that, and that can be a very huge help to start. So that's one thing you can do. Again, start with HK right away. Again, it costs cartel coins, but it's the price to pay. Also, if you don't go that route, go with Treek. Treek you're gonna get at level. You can unlock it at level 10. So with the contract and all that, she is pretty much an army of one. That's the companion I use all the time. She can tank or heal, or she can actually do both sometimes. As she's tanking, so you can throw a couple of heals here and there. I really like her, and the way I did it in the first 12X is I had Treek geared, like I had 3 sets made up for her. So that at like 27, I had another set beside the one that she's wearing at the beginning. Then I had another one at around actually that's 27, yeah, 27, 35, and 45. Those were the 3 sets that I had pre-made for Treek. But now with this expansion, I mean with 12X, the second time around, they changed the way commendations work for the class quest, so that you're not completely gimped out and have no gear. So now you really don't need the sets. If you make them ahead of time, it's just going to save you time actually, because you're not going to have to make them. But that's basically it. But once they're made, again, make sure they're in Bion Legacy gear, so that way once you're done, carry it over to the next guy. Then you have, if you're like me, I have unlocked Treek Legacy wide, account wide, so I can just go anywhere and just create another Treek and then just send the gear over. Again, it's just going to save you time after the first one. The first one might be a little longer, but again, once it's done, it's there forever, and you can just keep going and going and going and going forever and ever until it runs out. Again, the way comms work in the I keep saying expansion 12. The second time they're doing 12X is they have. I lost my train of thoughts. The new comm system works that way. Before it was 7 comms for a health, armoring, or a barrel. Now it's 2. So it brings everything to 2. 2 for those, 2 for enhancement, 2 for mods. So now an entire piece with the 3 pieces in there costs you 6 comms. Yet one class quest gives you 8. So you already have 2 comms towards your next piece. So it's going to be much faster to gear up your Treek or yourself. Some people prefer gearing themselves. I prefer gearing Treek. I think when Treek is geared out and she's tanking, she cannot lose aggro, and I cannot die, because she's never gonna die, or just about, unless something terribly bad happens, like catch pulling and something like that. Also, even if you do, you can always use your heroic moment, and hopefully you have a few abilities that goes with it. If you don't, then it might be a little rough. But again, Treek and for me it was the best bet. I've always enjoyed that. If you, that's the thing too, if you go with HK, you kind of need a little bit of gear, because he is more like single target oriented. So if he doesn't have aggro on everything, you're gonna get hit, and if you don't have gear, you're gonna get fucked up. Like, you're more than likely gonna die. So that's why I prefer Treek, where I just give him all the gear. All I keep for myself, I was keeping for myself last, the first time around, was my weapons. I would get weapons, and here and there a couple of objects, but besides that, I was basically putting everything into comms, and never actually claimed them until 55, right? So also the new QT and the new fleet pass system is going to definitely help a lot with the times because now you don't have to wait for QT. Also, don't forget, there's always alternatives that you can use. Never go through your hangar at the fleet, ever. Like, you don't have to go if you're still doing that, don't go through there. Just go straight to the little terminal that's right beside the door, to the entryway, basically, to your hangar, and then select your ship from there. That way you save all the ride to your inside your hangar to your ship to actually take flight. So that's a little bit of time saver there too. You can also use your stronghold a lot to go to some certain places, so that's also something you can think about. So if, let's say, you have to go to Drummondcast next, well, go to your Drummondcast stronghold and then drop down from there. Using the elevator little switch, you can actually drop to Drummondcast, and you're going to drop right in Cast City, which is where most of the starter quests are anyway. So again, just saves you time. The data cubes, there is 8 data cubes, and they just re-released a few weeks back the older packs once again, and again they've done it several times. What I suggest you to do is go on the GTN, search for data cubes, and buy them. They shouldn't be too expensive. Again, you buy one, you use it, it gives you a quest to go to Nar Shaddaa, you go to Nar Shaddaa, and then you use this little thing on the wall, and it gives you a 3-hour general XP boost. So there's 8 cubes times 3, 24 hours of general XP boost. So you're completely fine, you're covered, unless you basically like fall asleep at the wheel and let the time evaporate. You should have plenty of time with that 24 hours to hit 60. So, and then one thing that's really neat with those is once you actually have them all, then you can unlock them legacy-wide. That way, every single one of the characters you create have automatically 24 hours of general XP boost as soon as they can get their ship and go to Nar Shaddaa. Although, yeah, I don't think it works if you go to your stronghold and try to drop down from there without a ship. I think you need the ship to actually do that. Again, we could verify that. Also, another thing you can actually do once you get to Nar Shaddaa, because you would get your cubes, you can also go get the relics from the Tauren rep vendor that are on the 2nd floor, right where the GSI vendors are as well. They're right beside each other on the same counter. So you just basically get, there's 3 sets of them. So I would get all 3 sets. They're buy on legacy. Just transfer them from character to character to character as you're done. And with one, go to the other, right? So yeah, so you're leveling away, and again, make sure you have that general XP boost at all times. Very important, because as you, if you forget, it's going to cause you to have to do extra quests that you don't want to do. No one wants to go to Corellia, and most people don't like going to Voss either. So if you want to avoid Voss, your chances are pretty good if you use it at all times. So usually for most of my characters that I've leveled with the 12x, I was done by I was level 47 by the time I hit Belsavis, or by the time I finished Belsavis. If I didn't, I had to do maybe one more quest in Voss or 2. But again, I can't stress enough that you actually make sure that you have that general XP boost at all times, so that when you actually hit and finish Belsavis, at the very least, you're done. You're 47. Then you go to Makeb. Now, some people are like, oh no, I want to do the whole chapter 3, but chapter 3 is on, I gotta follow Voss and then go to Corellia. Understand that. That's fine. But go to Makeb. Go to Makeb no matter what you want to do, whether you want to keep doing chapter 3, which is going to take you a shit ton longer to do, just FYI. But again, make sure you go to Makeb first. All you got to do is you go to Makeb, and for imps, you go into... you're still on the station basically, and you go to I think it's on the left, there's a door there. You go in there, you talk to a lady, and then once the whole thing is done, which again, spoilers on that, there is spoilers of what's coming down after chapter 3, but again, you get a main hand that's really awesome, and it's going to help you kill a shit ton of stuff really fast, especially if you're a melee dude, or if you're tanking, like not necessarily a tank, but you're tanking the mobs because your comp is a healer or whatever. It's going to help you a ton. So that's why I always tell people go to Makeb first. But again, you will get a little bit of spoilers based on that. That's supposed to be after chapter 3. But again, if you're going for a speed run, you don't want to do Corellia. It's brutally long compared to Makeb. The reason why is because Makeb used to be horrible, but now you have a satellite buff. So if, as you get at the very back of the hangar, you'll see there's a console that's got that little bit of a highlighted blue on or whatever. You just click on that and it will give you a buff. And the buff is basically making you like a fucking impossible to kill wrecking machine. At that point, what I do is I turn Trig from tank to healer, because he doesn't tank anymore. I tank everything because I hit so damn hard he cannot keep aggro, and if he does, he dies anyway because he doesn't have the gear quite good enough. Although a level 45 should be decent, but at some point you're gonna get in the level 50s or whatever, and he's still gonna have 45 gear. And again, it's just easier to just have her heal at that point, and you just plow through everything. So yeah, the other thing you gotta remember too is if you log off, make sure you reapply the buff, because when you come back, that buff is gone. Even if you didn't die, that buff is gone. If you leave the planet, oh, I gotta go to the fleet for a second, and then come back, again, reapply the buff. You'll know right away, because if you didn't, you will be more than likely dead, unless you actually had quite a bit of gear. So again, make sure that you apply that satellite buff. Again, it doesn't have a timer on it, so if you just are there and you're just plowing through the quests one after the other, you don't have to check that out. It's going to be still there. It's just if you leave the planet or if you log off, that will go away. So then that's going until from 47 to 55 on Makeb. Now, I said earlier, right? What did I say? That's right. General XP boost is very important. You do not want to run out of a general XP boost as you're turning in a quest, because it's going to result at the very end when you're on Makeb. Basically you want to do all the quests except the last quest, and the last quest is horrible. It's one of the longest ones there is to do. Even if as a stealther, it's a really long quest. You have to go through all 3 or 4 corners of the map. It's really annoying, and you have to go around all kinds of mobs. You're more than likely going to get pulled out of stealth, and then you have to kill more stuff. I mean, it's just really annoying. But the good news is you can avoid all that by just making sure you have your goddamn general XP boost on at all times. As soon as you've hit 55, then again, you move on. Now we go into Shadow of Revan. Now, Shadow of Revan doesn't have 12x. That's gone. So what I do is I go into the character sheet. Every single character have their own individual character sheets, and you can go and unlock the class mission XP boost there. There's 5 of those, and they are actually pretty cheap to buy with like credits. You can also unlock with cartel. It's up to you. But again, it's very good. It basically gives you an extra 14k at least more XP per quest. So really good to have. And then what you want to do at that point too is, if you want to take one of your, if you have a 60 and you've done the dailies on Rishi and Yavin, you want to get a full set of level 55 gear for Treek. So if you haven't made the set for Treek, just go through it quickly once, because again, it's Bion Legacy, and yes, it's level 55, 192 level 55 gear. It's going to be amazing. Now Treek goes back from like the 45 set that he had on Makeb, because he didn't need gear, because I was just plowing everything on my own, to now being a tank with full gear. Fucking let's go, let's get this done. And now you get into Shadow of Revan, you just plow through everything. You can also I would definitely do the solo mode, because again, you don't have 12x, and the solo mode will give a ton of XP, and also will gear you out as well, as your gear will probably have fallen off the path. As you go into the solo mode, you get bolstered, so you don't need the gear either, just like you didn't need it on Makeb because you were getting bolstered by the satellite buff. Now you get another buff, plus you get Mr. Droid that fucking kills everything in 2 seconds. For all the solo modes. So again, you're gonna get your full 162 greens from there, and then after that, you're on your way laughing at the rest of the content, because you actually have Treek geared. When I did mine on the first 12x, I didn't even have Treek geared. He was still using the 45 gear. So this is gonna be a ton easier to do. Let's see what else. Also, one thing to remember, in case you didn't know, all the weapons and offhands in SOR do not have any crystals. So make sure that every time you get a weapon or an offhand that you put a crystal in them, because they don't have any. Learned this one the hard way. Oh, it's dark in here. One sec. Okay. Just something else also, just to help out, if you haven't done that already, what I would suggest is pre-set up. Basically, make sure all your key binding is all done. Don't just do it, wing it, because there's so many abilities coming at you so fast. There's nothing worse than not having anything key binded and have a bazillion freaking abilities all coming at once. It's just horrible, right? So make sure you have everything key binded. And if you don't, then it would be a good timing for you to start actually making a template of what you want to keybind where and all that. And I'll actually explain that in one of my next videos. Again, keep your inventory clean and make sure that you sell as much shit as possible when you can. At the worst, unlock the droid that you can actually vendor all your junk with on your character sheet. What else? What else? I think that's about it. If you do it the way I just explained to you with the class mission unlock, and the XP buff and everything, you should hit easily 60 before you even hit Yavin. You'll hit it either before Battle of Rishi Flashpoint or into it while you're in it. So again, good luck with your 12x, and if you have any questions about anything I just said, you can always come by at twitch.tv/DXUN54, and I will definitely answer your questions. I'll even be able to show you a video of what I'm saying, because sometimes I can understand, you know, guys talking and you're like, what the hell did he just say? That sounded cool and great, but I don't know where he got it from. So again, any questions, just come by and check me out. Again, thanks for watching. See you guys later.